Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Campus Waterfowl Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Christians, and this weekend for the Collegiate Waterfowl Tour, I am in Kansas City, of all places, this weekend. It's funny because this is actually the first time ever of the entire tour where a student sent in a picture to the page, and then, like, the following day, I sent him a message asking, like, hey, can I come hunt with you? And I kind of want to get Jack's reaction right away. What was your reaction to that? He told me earlier this week.
Well,
so.
my reaction I was checking to see how the picture was doing on that page, or else I would have never seen that DM because I check my Instagram and my phone not very frequently. So it was by a stroke of luck that I had actually saw the message.
Yeah, and I was in a scramble too myself, trying to find a place to hunt this week and trying to get some more content for everyone to watch, just because everyone's going back to college now, and you guys are still actually on your Christmas vacation, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
So, and that's kind of why I'm here, and why I felt like this would be an awesome opportunity to highlight these guys, because I believe all of these guys went to high school together, and so you guys will be able to hear their stories here coming up of how they met one another, why they got into waterfowl hunting, and I think so many of you that are on break right now, or if you're listening to this back at college, can relate to these guys as well. So before we get started, though, I have some companies to thank for all their support this hunting season. Tetra Hearing, Kent Cartridge, Onyx, Ducks Unlimited, and Drake Waterfowl. Couldn't do this tour without their support, and I know all the students out there appreciate their support. And so make sure you guys check out their websites, follow them on social media. You guys know what to do, so give them the love they deserve. So this is stop number 10 of the tour. The goal this year is to get to 12 colleges, so hopefully by the end of January we'll get to 2 more minimum. At a minimum, and maybe a third extra, hopefully. But then February, March, April, May, June, we got some really fun stuff planned for you guys this off season. So stay tuned for that as well. But let's get into the podcast. Introductions first. Let's start. Micah, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All
right, so my name is Micah Palmer. I go to school at Maple Woods Community College. And then after community college, I plan to go to Northwest Missouri State University and get a degree in wildlife ecology.
My name's Tyrrell. I go to Southeast Missouri State University, and I'm a professional pilot major.
My name's John Rourke. I'm a freshman at Northwest Missouri State University, and I'm majoring in business with a minor in military science.
My name's Jack Massie. I'm an Alpha Gamma Rho at the University of Missouri, majoring in ag business and minoring in entrepreneurship.
My name is Cannon Kobylski, and I am going to the Air Force in hopes of a career path in security forces.
You guys are a busy group. You guys are all different places as well now.
They're all different places.
All spread out.
How does that make you feel? I'm asking the hard question right away.
I think it's cool that we all get together and meet up, hunt as much as we can. I mean, the day we got back home from school, I think we've hunted over half the break. So I think it's pretty cool that we break close and get to hunt a lot during our breaks. So.
Is this how many years out of high school are you guys?
We're one.
This is our first.
They're all one. I'm a year older than them, so I've been out 2 years.
Okay. And how has it been, kind of, like going your own separate ways and then coming back? How's that been, being kind of away from home?
We've all been in really different places. I mean, John was in basic training. Riley's all the way down in the boot heel. These two have been at home, but he's working full time. I go to school at Columbia. I travel back for most weekends, so I'm here a lot, but not everybody's always here. It's hit or miss. Who's here? What weekend? Or who's here?
Do you try to line up weekends where you guys are coming back? Try to stay in really contact with one another?
Yeah, we got a group chat, and we all try to communicate when everybody comes home on a weekend, or so we can get maybe a hunt together, or just even if the guys just hang out one night, or maybe for a weekend or so. So we have pretty good communication with each other.
That's good. What about while you guys are back at college or doing your own thing? Do you guys have other people in those areas to go hunting with as well, or do you try to come back home most of the time to do your hunting?
Myself, I just come back home to hunt. I haven't been at school very long, just my first semester, this semester. So I haven't really got met the people that actually hunt a lot down there, or just a place to store all my stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, I just got back in October from basic training, so I haven't started school till I leave Monday. Supposed to leave tomorrow,
yeah,
but
what's the story behind
I'm
this?
not gonna miss this. So yeah, same. Really, just been home. I haven't got a chance to meet anybody there that waterfowl hunts, and we have a couple buddies that go up there. Me and Micah, and so hopefully when Micah gets up there, we'll be plenty of places to hunt up there too. But it's better at home, I think.
And where's that at?
It's up in Maryville. It's about an hour and 20 minutes north of here.
In Missouri still? Okay.
I've done some hunting at school. Hunted with some guys in the Mizzou Ducks Unlimited chapter. Had a great hunt, North Zone, the Monday after North Zone opened. But just we traveled central Missouri, where Columbia is, where I go to school. Average hunting. There's some places that are great, but it's average. I'd rather go home where all my stuff is and I know what's going on.
Yeah, you're familiar with the area, you got access, and saves a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I like about staying close to home. Like, we can go anytime we want. Like, I can take mornings off of school. I always have Fridays off. So we've been hunting quite a bit this year for being in school and work. So it's been nice.
Yeah. And what is the season like in Nebraska? You said are we in the central zone or the north zone right now?
Missouri has 3 zones. We are located like the very north part of the middle zone. You can't go much farther north of here. And we're like I said, that's just our duck season. So our duck season closes tomorrow. Actually, it's our last chance to shoot ducks. So
what day is that? January.
That's
Well,
It's the 9th.
It's the 9th.
9th tomorrow. Yeah.
So we got till the first weekend of February to shoot geese, but ducks are closing up tomorrow.
How's this season been treating you guys so far?
I think overall, we've hunted a lot, but we always kill birds. Like, it's been pretty consistent with birds and better hunts here and there. But in like this area, it's not fantastic. Like, we all know that. It's not like a Mound City or Sumner, Missouri. But we have a good amount of birds. I think we get our fair share. Do a lot better than most people. So.
Compared to other seasons that you guys have hunted, how's this one compared?
I'd say it's pretty close. I mean, I feel like the birds are kind of weird this year. I mean, we just got a major push of birds this past week and
been
a half.
a warm season.
The weather.
Very warm
It's been
season.
ridiculous.
You guys got a couple cold snaps, didn't you though?
The last
Not really.
We had
Past
one.
week,
The last-
We had one cold
2 or
front like
3
2
weeks,
days.
yeah.
One time, and that was it. High 50s through December.
Our first snow was last week.
Yeah.
we haven't had any consistent weather. We've had a consistent cold 2 days, and then followed up by 3 warm days. So it's like
Up to 50 degrees. It's
I mean, it's been 50, 60 one day, and then later in the week, single digits.
It was
So
70
it's
degrees Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
it's the birds. I think the birds have had a hard time figuring out when to come down and what to do when they actually get here.
And you guys were telling me stories. You guys know people that were shooting teal still.
Yeah.
up here?
Oh yeah.
North of here.
North,
Yeah,
still
When
north
with
Still in limits of teal in
last
December.
weekend. Last weekend they were shooting teal
Teal
limits in northern Missouri, northwestern Missouri.
That's insane. Yeah, I was talking to a student, in Oklahoma, and he said the same thing. This is such, even for Oklahoma, he said they're shooting teal down there, and they found that strange and never seen it before. But so how long have you guys? This is one question I haven't asked you guys all weekend, but how long have you guys all been waterfowl hunting, and what kind of got you guys into it?
just start with you and go in a circle. Or?
Yeah, that sounds good. I started my freshman year of high school. The first time I ever went hunting, and it was goose hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't duck hunt until junior year with these guys. Just started goose hunting. Fortunate enough, my family lives on 40 acres, just about 2 miles from where we are, in a spot where there's all kinds of birds. And I had never done it before. My family's deer hunters. I had no idea. And then a buddy I met through playing high school football. That's still my best friend. We threw out 6 decoys in a dream. That's all we did.
6 decoys in a dream.
And there'd be like we would kill like one bird in a month maybe. And it was just the best time. It didn't matter how many we killed, what we did. It was just always a blast, and it was just like it was. I was different. I was used to deer hunting. You like sit in the silence. Like I love that too, and then once you get to know everybody else to do it, you meet so many guys, and there's just nothing like sitting in the blind with everybody. So.
Yeah, for me, my dad really spiked my interest in waterfowl hunting. I waterfowl hunted since I can remember with my dad, just on and off. He's a really busy guy, works hard, so he doesn't get to hunt too often. But I remember just, as long as I can remember, going out hunting with Dad. So that's when I really started. Then moved up here to Smithville when I got into middle school, and started really getting into it, like, freshman year, 8th grade. Jack and I started hunting quite a bit together, and then we just all kind of started joining together as the school years went on, and I think that's pretty cool. But I love every second of it. If we kill no birds, see no birds, or kill a limit, I love it.
Yeah, for me, kind of the same with Riley. I just, as long as I can remember, I hunted with my dad. My dad's always worked in the industry, so been super lucky with that. And then I moved to Smithville around my freshman year, and I kind of fell out of it a little bit. And then I met these guys and just started coming with them. And love it. And same as everyone else said, it doesn't matter if you kill birds or not. It's just always a good time in the blind.
I started waterfowl hunting when I was probably 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. Waterfowl hunting seriously, probably after I turned 16, because nobody in my family hunts, so I was always begging for a ride or trying to find an older guy to go with. So after I turned 16, it was downhill from there, and got the sickness. So
Yeah. Start burning through gas.
Burning through gas, burning through money, you name it.
I first started around 6th grade with one of my best friends, Cole. You know who you are. Him and his dad out on a blind draw at Smithville Lake here. That was my first duck hunt. I had no clue what I was doing. I hunted before, like small game and stuff, but this was my first time being introduced into waterfowl. And I remember one time, hen mallard comes into the spread, and they tell me the only one got to shoot, and I was the only one who shot, and I killed it, and it was the best moment of my life. I felt so proud of myself. It was so awesome. I fell in love with it immediately, and then I just kept hunting with them more and more, and then I started branching into these guys, Tyrrell, and then it started growing from there. So, yeah.
So then how did, you all meet then? How did...
School. I mean, through school.
Through school, but then was it waterfowl hunting that, you knew this guy waterfowl hunted, or were you guys in sports together? Or?
I think that's kind of exactly how it went. Riley and I, at least for Riley and I, knew each other from ag class and shot trap together. We had always hunted together with a couple of my other buddies, and kind of just started picking a guy up along the way.
Was this middle school then?
This was more toward high school.
More high school, and
Yeah, like my freshman year.
My freshman year, my sophomore year, I was driving. It
Got
was.
to use all the gas money on
Oh yeah,
Jack.
we had the Chevy Tahoe, and we would load the sucker down front to back, full of decoys. Put decoys in our laps, and people in the seats holding decoys. And
Yeah.
for the one guy who was 16 that was able to drive everybody
and
around.
your parents just had let you go.
They were like, well, at least he likes doing this. They knew.
Yeah.
I feel definitely the same thing. I think, especially these guys who are the same age as me. Me and Micah wrestled together, and Ken and I played baseball together, and Riley was the first person from Smithville I ever met. So we were close before, but I feel like after we started hunting together, we definitely spent more time together and just got a lot closer through hunting, I think.
It's kind of funny, though. This is our first season, really, all of us hunting together.
The five of us.
Not all five of us been hunting together for years.
Really?
Strong as we have this year.
A hunt or two every once in a while when you got a hot field and need another gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing we've been over a dozen times, all of us this year. We're doing everything together.
This is the most I've hunted in a season. I've made time this year to take some time to hunt.
Why is that?
I've just tried to make the time to do it. I know that I've got 2 years left of college, and then after that, I don't know what the heck I'll be doing.
Yeah,
So
trying to make the most of it. You think?
Yep.
Yeah. Why do you think this year kind of this year of all any, like, you guys have gone your own ways, but now why this year you guys have hunted together more so compared to in high school? You guys were here all the time.
Like, I think we kind of realized, like, why don't we just hunt with each other instead of fighting over birds? Why don't we just all come together?
Yeah, I mean,
we
got
were
a lot
never
of
like beef before or anything. We were just kind of separate hunters. Like, our schedules didn't work out or whatever.
You got permission on in a lot of the same area.
It's like, why are we all killing like 2 birds apiece without each other when we can come together and just kill piles and be smart with how we hunt? I think that's what it seems like to me. So.
Do you feel like you learned a lot more through that, like just different techniques from one another?
Everybody brings a different aspect to the game, and that's in anything: waterfowl hunting, deer hunting, school, you name it. Everybody knows something else that somebody doesn't know.
Yeah. What can you tell me about the type of hunting in this area that we're at?
Oh gosh, it's on and off.
What's the terrain like? Like if someone, like I'll share my observations from being here. So to describe this area, coming to never seeing it before or anything, rolling hills, a ton of them, and a lot of is it river bottoms? There's just a lot of trees, a lot of tree lines and things like that, and is there a lot of water around here. We got Smithville. You said
Smithville Lake.
Yeah. I guess it's like just a massive lake. And when we were at that Paradise, is it Paradise?
Yep.
That burger place we ate this weekend, they had a big map up on the wall, and that sucker stretches for covers a lot of land.
8,000
acres of water.
So
12,000 acres of public.
And driving around here, I never once really saw how big it was, but once it was on the wall, I was like, dang, that thing is just huge.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we've just been zigzagging up and down these rolling hills all weekend, and you'll see like this pasture and this little open area, and then there'll just be this little open or little pond, and they're all over the place. These little ponds are just all over the place, and that's what we're hunting this weekend. And is it that fairly good description of kind of?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
We're very hilly, and we got lots of water. But I think sometimes just having the water and having the big variety of ways to kill birds is can help us out. But also it can be a struggle because we don't know what the birds want. Just like this morning, we didn't know. We debated. We want to have a field. Do we want to hunt the pond? But we got a hole open on the pond. We thought that was the best bet. Maybe that wasn't the best decision, but we still scratched off a few birds. And
Just as many big flat fields as there is hills around here too, though
that
hold plenty of birds for feed, so they stick around.
Yeah.
The thing that I think a lot of us struggle with here is there's so much water. There's not one property around here that doesn't have a pond of some sort of size that would hold birds. I mean, massive ponds up to 10, 15 acres, private lakes. I mean, there's just water everywhere. So it kind of makes it tough because the birds find safe places when they start to get pressured that are not huntable, leased, or other reasons.
And I think even like some of those feeds, like with all those hills, like you could easily miss like where those geese, like they could easily sit in the bottom or one hill a little bit higher than the other, and you could easily drive right past them.
Makes it tough to scout, that's for sure.
Yeah. How has the getting permission are you able to get, are you able to get permission?
It doesn't happen very often.
Really?
It's
even being locals, like
it's a struggle.
No.
You can know somebody here, and they'd be like, no.
You can go offer somebody
20 chance, I'd say.
a couple grand.
You can go offer somebody a lot of money, and they will shut you down like
without
that.
hesitation.
I would, if somebody told me what I'm about to say, I wouldn't believe them. Like if we haven't asked the vast majority of people in the county to hunt their property, that's not a joke. I mean, it's crazy. It just the ground is not existent. It doesn't. You don't come by it.
But the property we do have is good. It's very good good property to hunt.
We have a handful of good properties.
Micah
of
has a
good,
real
reliable
nice-
properties.
The landowners we do have are fantastic.
Great people,
I mean,
fantastic landowners.
Without them, we'd be sitting inside. We'd have nothing to do.
We're sitting at Smithville Lake.
Yeah.
Right
We
next
go public duck hunt.
right now, we sitting on frozen Smithville Lake right now.
Plenty of public ground around here. Just it gets hammered,
Yeah.
and it gets hammered hard. And we're so close to the city. You said Kansas City. We're in Smithville. We're just north. I mean, we're 30 minutes straight north. I mean, you could be in the heart of the city in 30 minutes, but so we get all the city hunters coming out of the city to come hunt all the public ground around where we are. So a lot of pressure.
I think a lot of the birds are smartest too, and stop short and go to the city, or I guess go a little bit farther and stop in the city, go right over Smithville. Then we just sit there and watch them all day long.
Yeah.
They find their
State
safe
limits.
fields
Yeah.
around the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Because with how much Smithville's grown in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, a
remember
lot of development in
as
this
a
area.
kid, there was like 3,000 people here. Now there's over 10,000
Jeez.
in 10 years.
Yep.
I mean, there's just houses everywhere and just city limits everywhere.
And farmland, like
It's just
it'll
getting
be,
wiped out.
you know, yeah, it's just farmland is just going into developments. Like it's crazy.
Leading into this weekend, you guys sounded like, from the conversations I've been having, you guys were a little scared for how the weekend was going to turn out.
Well, we were you scouted for a bit. I scouted for a bit.
We were all outside.
We were all outside
all
working.
Of us were outside.
I was like
trying
brushing
to
a
find
blind right by the lake. None of us saw
Well,
a single bird until
I
when?
had the phone call from him about 7:30.
Yeah, we got to share like the timeline here of how quick this all came together. So I messaged you, is it
Thursday at approximately 2:00 in the afternoon.
Thursday, 2:00, and then I was leaving Friday morning.
Yeah.
Early Friday
Yeah.
morning to drive over
So-
here. So
Got the phone call from you, made a kind of a plan with the boys. You know, said you're coming up. We want to get something planned for you. Got some more details from you. I said let's. We were gonna hunt that morning. We decided, well, let's scout and let's brush our blinds in and get decoys and stuff ready. And we had hunted a couple days before when I sent you that big pile picture, and thousands and thousands of birds. I mean, it wasn't
loaded.
like we never
More birds than
we
we've
shot
ever
our
seen
birds and
in
picked
Smithville.
up, and we were still seeing birds. I mean, and Friday morning, I was at work working right next to the lake. He was working right next to the lake. These guys were out scouting, and we literally did not see a bird.
We were
Like,
all over
Until
Smithville.
you
Every
got
part
here.
of Smithville, there would be birds. There was nothing at all.
and we were
From 8 a.m. to noon.
we were texting back in the group chat like a bunch of girls talking about rumors. Like, like there's no birds. He's coming. He's
We were
coming.
like,
Yeah, like on the road.
the lake's frozen up. All the birds left
I
overnight.
mean, we went from like 0 to 100. Like we didn't stop to think about like what could possibly be happening. Maybe they're just sitting all day, which they did. we just went straight to freaking out because I was like, well, we kind of feel the need to put you on some kind of a hunt. I told you I was like, don't expect a barn burner, but
Yeah.
I was like, there is birds here for us to kill, and then we were pooping our pants. We literally had seen no birds. Like, not even exaggeration. I did not see one bird on
Not
Friday
one.
yeah.
Until we went and set decoys.
until Derek came.
I saw
literally.
It was hilarious because so when I got there, like I don't think there was any geese still yet flying.
No,
but
yeah.
I like the first conversation I had with Jack, I was telling him about how I was seeing birds kind of going into the Kansas City, kind of on my way up here, and I kind of could tell like there was a little sigh of relief looking at Jack and thinking like there are birds, and right away he started telling everyone.
As soon as you got there, I just told you straight up. I was like, we saw birds yesterday, and I don't know if they packed their bags and left overnight because between the five of us, we've seen 0 birds today. Not even one.
Yeah.
And you showed up about 15 minutes later. We were setting up decoys.
A flip switch.
There they come. Light switch flip.
Oh,
Birds were here.
Sky was
I guess
black.
I don't know if you brought the birds or if you woke them up or
I
what.
bring the birds where I go.
I don't know, but they finally woke up from their nap, I guess.
Yeah, they were flying all night last night.
Yeah, 'cause,
We
I
were
mean,
setting up.
We've hunted pretty strong recently. We've seen a lot of birds, and then like Jack said, it was just like the light switch like flickered and there was nothing.
The night before he came, it was single digits from about the afternoon all the way through about half the next day. And the lake, which is a major refuge and roost for a lot of the ducks and geese, about half of it froze up overnight because we had virtually no wind. So we were all afraid that the birds just left, which they have before. When the lake really starts to lock up, the birds will just leave overnight. And it's not long after January, toward the end of January, February, where the lake locks and they're gone.
But yeah, that was kind of the start to the weekend, and ever since I got here Friday, we've been kind of just nonstop running around and hunting. And then this evening, right away, we made a cooking video, and yeah, been a busy day. But what about today? How did today go? What can people expect in the next YouTube video?
It was surely slow. We had, it was a really cloudy day. It was windy. It's pretty windy in the morning at least. I guess.
Misting all day.
Yeah, it was freezing,
Wet.
drizzle, wet. Birds didn't start flying till
Late.
10, 10:30. And we decided, we went to picked up at Rogers, and just went and looked around there.
I didn't even mention that.
And
Yeah, we
then-
went to Rogers today. And that was
Yeah.
my first time ever going to Rogers.
Yeah.
To Rogers.
Then, of course, birds, we see birds all over the place flying, but they're all, every single one
Leave the blind.
hitting feeds.
Yeah.
So,
He said it.
but, yeah.
And you had those divers. We were shooting divers.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was the last thing we were
I'm sure nobody's expecting Midwest cattle pond diver duck shoot, but
Pond diver.
we need some target practice every once in a while, something to warm the guns up.
Yeah. You
Definition
shot
of
the
moon.
resident golden eye.
Yeah, this poor golden eye's been on this pond about the past 6 days, and I said the night before when we were setting up decoys, I said he will be back tomorrow. I don't know, I won't bet any money on the geese. I'm sure we'll see some geese, but this duck will be back tomorrow. And this thing comes in here just flying in there. It's like,
That's
yeah,
not.
he's
He didn't go down without a fight. Though.
he had to pay his
It was an
rent.
expensive bird.
That was a $10-15 bird. He did plenty of diving. Yeah.
He dove in the spread for
That
about an
was-
hour.
Then his wife came in a little longer later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't shoot at her.
No. But then after that, was that the set of 4 after that?
We had, yeah.
Before bed.
Yeah, 4
Come-
geese just come out of nowhere, lock
Yeah.
up,
He didn't make
just
a
dump
noise.
right in.
Yeah, those geese were the ones that we got today. They were just silent.
Quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were quiet today for sure.
Luckily, we're all just sitting down. Somebody taking a little nap.
Yeah, I was taking a little.
Hey,
Hey, I still got the shot.
Yeah.
I still,
That's right.
I
You
got it
still
on video, that's all
so
that
you guys
matters.
can see that the next video. I'll post that on Thursday probably. So, yeah. But today was a lot of fun, and excited for tomorrow morning. And you guys are pretty confident tomorrow morning as well. It sounds like.
I would love to tell you that we're gonna burn it down tomorrow, but it's hunting. You can't.
More confidence.
We
Any
can't.
Yeah.
day it's been sunny on that pond, we do pretty good.
I can say
Nice.
I can't guarantee, but I just myself I can almost bet that it can't. I wouldn't think it'd be any worse than today. I mean,
I
I don't see
Do
why
we
it
gotta
would
do like
be.
an over under? What? How many birds?
Oh, don't start doing this. we can't start. Riley and I talked today after the hunt. We said it will not be any worse than today. I think we made the best we could have for today. If I could have changed anything today, I was really debating Friday night setting up in a field. If I could have changed today, we would have field hunted, and I would guess we would have done better.
And also the forecast. Like, it was supposed to be partly cloudy today, like somewhat clear skies.
Yeah.
And we get out there, it's
Yeah.
misting.
I mean, it was
99%
dark, pretty
all day.
dark all day.
It was
pretty
so
dark.
I don't think that the sun ever came through.
We
No,
couldn't
no.
couldn't see it shooting time still.
Yeah.
I mean, you could barely see the birds flying.
yeah, they
look
were
like
in the
a
clouds still.
Yeah.
The clouds were so low. Birds were
It was
flying
up
in
there
the
flying.
yeah.
No visibility today whatsoever.
And then all the fields, they had quite a few birds on them. But still,
Yeah.
not all the birds got up today.
No way.
Definitely.
I think-
Nowhere near all of them. I mean,
But yeah, we've got
another
a
lazy day.
north wind in the morning, partly cloudy. I think mostly sunny. It's gonna be. I think the high is only 33,
A little colder.
but so it's gonna be a little bit chillier.
Full sun though.
But,
It's-
yeah.
Our best days on this pond have been bluebird days with a north or south wind that blows directly across the long sides of this pond, and we typically get them to decoy well. And
Just hope they're gonna loaf tomorrow. I guess.
And-
That's-
if they fed all day today, so be it.
Yeah.
We hunted a pond. They're gonna want to loaf tomorrow, I'd hope.
So yeah, so that video will be up on next week, after this podcast next week. But and then after that, this evening we had John in the kitchen making some jalapeno. What'd you call them?
Call them goose bits.
Goose bits. So explain quickly kind of what those were, and then also kind of how you came up with the recipe.
Well, the recipe was just something my dad always did, and he does a lot better than I do and puts more stuff into it. It was kind of a quick last minute thing. We decided we'd do it, and these guys were giving me crap about the seasoning, I guess. They claim I put a little too much in there when I was doing it, but I don't think it made any difference at all.
The
So
Worcestershire.
Hey, they taste
sauce.
good.
I thought they were pretty good, but yeah, like I said, it's just
Very
something-
good.
Yeah,
Just
they're
some
awesome.
I grew up around my whole life. My dad always made them, and kind of just real simple deal. You let your goose marinate, you duck too. I think it's better with duck. Duck's better meat for me anyway. But you just let that marinate, and we had Ken cutting the meat up in 1/2-inch strips and cutting those in half. And jalapeno eye over here was.
Yeah, we did a little foreshadowing in that video where I told you not to touch your eye while you're cutting up those jalapenos.
I'm never gonna underestimate jalapeno again.
And he was cutting up jalapenos, and then basically you just get your strip of bacon. I cut them in half, just save more bacon, and you put your strip of breast on there and your jalapeno and some cream cheese, and just roll them up. And I put them on skewers. Sometimes you can use toothpicks just so you kind of get a little bit more on there, but pretty simple. And usually you cook them over a charcoal grill or propane grill, whatever. But that kind of wasn't an option. I kind of some last minute stuff. We didn't have what I thought I had. And so we cooked them in the oven for probably 45 minutes or so, and
Yeah,
gave them a little broil at the end. And I thought they turned out pretty good. And
no, they're awesome. They
Just-
you put some honey on the top
yeah,
there.
and the honey glaze at the end. I thought really,
Tops it off.
yeah.
Yeah, it was about a 1 hour process.
Yeah.
After dinner snack, ate some chili tonight, and it was
Oh,
it
some
was
good chili.
it was a great dessert.
Shout out to my
Ketchup
mom
on
for
the
making the
chili?
chili.
Yeah, was it deer? Was it deer
Yeah, that
too?
was some venison chili. It was
Venison chili.
real good.
Good chili. Do we have to bring up the ketchup?
Had some interesting
Oh,
lines.
God.
We should ask the viewers.
Yeah, ask the viewers.
Ask the
Please
viewers.
comment below. And yeah, that's another thing I didn't even mention. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we're also have the camera up here. So if you guys want to see everyone sitting here, tune into the YouTube video, and then YouTube if you guys don't have time to finish the podcast, tune into Apple or Spotify. So, but yeah, we're talking a lot about ketchup today.
A lot of ketchup conversations.
So
Who brought it up in the blind?
I think I did.
Tyrrell.
Yeah.
I thought it was a normal thing to put ketchup in your chili.
Never heard of it
Exactly.
until about 6 hours
Like,
ago.
I
So.
I had never
Just
heard
gives
of
it a
it.
little twist.
I've always been cornbread, sour cream,
Cheese.
cheese, all that. He's over here. I'm in the same blind as him. I put ketchup in mine. I'm like, what? And then Micah's like, you've never heard of that? I'm like, no.
You guys
It's a
are all
Palmer
like sour
family
cream. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
And he's like,
Yeah.
I've never heard of
Ketchup,
sour
what do you
cream in
mean?
it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
No, I'm a
But I tried
Classic.
it. It was good. I wasn't gonna knock on it. I was like, I'm up to try anything, but
it wasn't bad at all. Just a little more sweet. I think I like my chili a little more spicy, but
yeah.
and sour
Yeah.
cream in it. It was good too.
yeah.
It was good too. Maybe like we discovered something: sour cream and ketchup.
That's a little.
I think
That's like in middle school when the kids start mixing the food around on their trays. That's too much for me.
of probably how many hours do you think we were in the blind today? 8
Oh.
or 10 hours?
Oh well, we were
8 hours.
We got out
we
there
were in the
were
field
gone
at
for 2
5:40.
Yeah,
no,
we were-
gone
we were
for 2.5
5:55.
we were in the field at 6 this morning and had a 2 hour lunch break and in the field till 5:30 tonight.
8, 9 hours.
And I think of that time, I think we talked about ketchup and chili for about an hour and a
And that was a
half.
heated debate.
We got into it a little bit.
You never know what's going to be brought up in the
Oh,
goose
we,
blind.
lots of stories in the blinds.
Lots of non-scented detergent.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah.
gotta get into that.
Yeah.
Oh, we can.
You
get
should
into
comment below if you
Oh no.
if you put ScentLok on your waterfowl gear. We'd really like to know.
I've only done it once.
Oh,
That's
hell
every
no.
time.
Oh,
So you've
now-
only
now
washed
it's
your
just one
vest
time.
once,
You
too.
can't wash his Sika and real detergent, but he can ScentLok it. Birds care.
It's sensitive.
The birds will sniff you out. I'm telling you.
Oh,
They'll sniff you out.
Some days it seems like it.
Yeah.
Some days, yeah.
Dude, Micah had that picture that he showed me the other day. That he was smelling. He didn't hear the goose call. He was.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what he heard. Micah showed me a photo yesterday that he took, and
Pretty cool.
this bird just is like, I don't know. He's going one direction, and then in the photo, his head is just facing right at Micah with the
Yeah,
camera.
the
It's
bird's locked up, but his head's like at a 90-degree
Yeah, it's at like
angle
a 90 degree
against his body.
Our blind's right here, and we have like a few decoys out because we were just taking pictures. We weren't hunting or anything. And the goose is coming in with the wind, and as soon as we call, just turns right to us. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it, of course, but then once you zoom in on the photo, it's like, oh my gosh, that thing is looking right at us.
Literally, yeah. That
Directly
goose
at
is-
us.
Makes
Right
you really
on.
think
That's
what
insane.
they're looking at when you're calling at the blind and you're decoying groups of 20 or 30 birds.
yeah.
You got 20 or 30 birds doing that kind of thing.
It's a lot of eyes.
Looking for eyes, looking for decoys tipped over, looking for cords wrapped around their necks and
Yeah.
the floaters. I mean, you name it.
Detail.
It even made me paranoid today. I grabbed those 3 full bodies and 3 shells. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just saw this. Like, we might as well.
Did you have decoys out when you were taking that photo? Or
I
was it?
had 2 dozen silos out.
So you did have decoys, so that it could have looked at like the decoys, like looked at a decoy or anything, but it pinpointed where the calling was coming
And it was
from.
flying directly over the decoys.
Really?
They were just in a little line. It was right over the top of decoys.
That's crazy. Yeah. So it picked up where that sound was coming
It was
from.
smart
exactly.
for sure.
Little pea brains got more brain
Yeah.
than you actually think they do.
Yeah.
But then there's also an argument that a lot of what we do, we overthink. Like
Yeah.
Well,
we overthink it.
yeah, like that single
agree.
that came in
The
that you called out.
oh yeah.
Where we're all 5 standing up in the blind, nobody's paying attention, everybody's
Don't
just
move.
talking. Derek goes, "Nobody move." I'm in the far left-hand side of the blind, downwind.
Everybody's
I have
facing me. That's the thing. Everybody was facing
Yeah,
me. And I was the only one.
staring at you.
I was the only one facing that.
birds, dude.
Derek says, "Don't move." First thing I do is look right at the bird, and this sucker is just wings back, locked up, head back, and I say, "Okay, ready." Cut him. I mean,
No,
just-
you didn't even say anything.
No,
The
someone
bird.
just shot.
Oh, that was
Instead of
me.
a shot.
That was me. After I pie faced the bird, I
No,
Probably-
I was like, oh, we're shooting, so I stand up.
Yeah.
Cannon had to pull out a finisher shot on the
Mopped
bird.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get that one on camera, so that's a podcast exclusive right
You
there.
can't really expect to get that on camera. You know,
Yeah,
have
no.
idea if there's any
I was
decent
standing there,
sky.
like, I had my camera on my arm,
Well.
and I was like, oh, yeah, I told you guys not to move, and I tried to get the camera up, but I was like, no, there's no chance.
He came from nowhere. I mean, nobody was paying attention,
Quiet
but
birds.
it
Didn't
was
make a
it was
noise.
a single goose that made
Yeah.
absolutely
He didn't
no
make any
noise.
sound. I had to, like, when I was looking that way, I was talking, I think I was talking to one of you guys, and then I looked up, and then I looked back down. I looked up again, because I thought it was like a crow, because there's crows and, like, eagles flying around, and so I thought it was that at first glance, and I looked back again, and that thing was just coming right down.
If we wouldn't have seen him, if Derek wouldn't have called him out,
Probably been a
we
while.
probably would have seen him when he splashed on
On
the
the
water
water.
because he was
Yeah.
10 foot off the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
he wanted in and he wanted in bad.
Even the group that actually did it, they didn't make peep.
Not so.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we were just sitting there. We were all, in the blind, I think. And I don't think anyone was standing outside the blind.
Yeah, I think they moaned like
Just a-
once or twice.
Yeah, Mike.
Small
I
Mike
moan.
heard like one little moan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mike and I heard it because other people were
Yeah, Mike was like, shh.
playing on their phones.
playing Angry Birds.
I
Mike,
was on my Angry Birds.
All that Angry Birds guy.
It
Mike,
was
Mike
too
and
quiet
I.
for too long, so I whipped out the phone.
I got a couple photos of you playing Angry Birds.
Oh yeah.
We did see quite a bit of birds though today. I mean,
We saw quite a bit of birds, but it hasn't been probably a quarter of what we have normally been seeing on an average or decent day.
yeah, I agree.
They were loud on the feeds.
They were very
The
loud.
feeds were noisy,
Yeah. Sure.
but the birds loafing, the few birds that wanted to loaf, were, I mean,
Wanted it.
didn't make a peep. they want it down, but I mean, if you didn't see them before they were coming in, you're gonna miss them.
Kind of pivoting topics, like we've been talking a lot about, this weekend and things that are happening. But what are some of the biggest challenges you guys are facing right now as like the age that you're at as a waterfowl hunter? Would you say some of the biggest challenges?
At our age,
Yeah, your age, like some of the biggest challenges.
accessibility to land, to spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, assets. I mean, when you're young, I mean,
Finding like the decoys and things. Is that
yeah.
I think even just a teenager or whatever you want to call us going to knock on a landowner's door and say,
Yeah.
a lot of people I feel
Not-
like see us as maybe
Immature,
not respectful towards property or I think we just already get a stereotype
yeah.
just
Especially
from that.
because past hunters on their land have
All
a
it
lot
takes
of
is
a lot
one.
of reasonings we get told no is because past hunters on their land
Yep.
have done things that they didn't like that
Of
affects
teenagers,
us a
young
lot.
people.
and we all work too, so work's a big thing.
Work
Yeah.
every time we're home from school. I mean,
Yeah, most of us, we break it out for a quick hunt in the morning, and we're at work by noon. So we do a lot of quick hunts. That makes it tough.
we're
We're not
definitely
always.
lucky though. Flexible hours for most of us. I mean,
Yeah.
we can pretty much go to work whenever we want, as long as we go into work and get what we need done. So
Just not always in the blind as long as we need to be or would like to be some days.
But I'd say accessibility or something around that route for someone our age is one of the bigger ones.
It's tough. A lot of you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you've got a family and a stable job for years and years, and you can buy your own ground, you can buy your own you can have a lease, you can have a decoy trailer and 100 dozen decoys, and it doesn't matter where you hunt, you can traffic birds. We're roughing it out. Not roughing it out, but we're not far from it.
What would you say is like your greatest strength as the age that you're at as being a waterfowl hunter compared to other waterfowl hunters, maybe older, younger?
We put in the work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Work
we're-
ethic,
we're
definitely.
scout every day.
scout like crazy. We do. I mean, we're always driving around, trying to look for birds, we've mentioned, try to look for new property. Somebody's always driving around or somebody's always looking for birds.
How far are you guys willing to drive, like, for a spot to hunt?
We probably have a 30 to 45 minute radius of
Really?
Smithville.
Yeah.
30
We go out-
minute, I'd say.
We go out of state too. We'll drive over to
Oh,
Kansas.
Kansas, really?
Well,
How far are we from Kansas?
To
These guys have a Kansas spot.
Are you? Okay.
What, an hour and a half?
Okay.
we'll go up to
Kansas
Mount.
itself, it's maybe 30 minutes.
We'll go up to Mount City.
Yeah, to your spot
Right.
though.
Okay.
We'll go up north, Mount City Craig. That's an hour, 15 minutes north. So that's about as far as we go. Hour and a half is about
Usually
as far.
those are like invite hunts though.
Yeah.
As far as like staying close to town, like I'd say probably 25-30 minutes.
Yeah.
Plattsburgh to north of Liberty.
Yeah.
Our greatest our strength, without a doubt, is we're young, we're not afraid to put in the work, and we seriously put in the work. I mean, breaking ice.
Yeah.
We have walked greater distances than I ever want to walk again to shoot no birds or a single birds. I mean, last year,
Opening day.
somebody tell the story about last year opening day.
Opening day duck season. So here
Oh,
at
man.
Smithville Lake, it's like we've mentioned, they used to do draw blinds. So people used to be able to go draw a blind and they get that spot for a year. Well, they quit doing that, and so last year, opening day duck season. We have a lot of lake access points where it's public hunting ground.
Yeah.
So we get out to our spot. We get out there like 3:30 because there's so many.
Many times we.
I didn't plan on
No,
hunting
we
with you
got
guys.
we got there the night before just to look. We pull up to our spot that we're gonna hunt, which we hunt frequently, and there's 2 trucks at 11:30 the day before opening day, or the night before.
Yeah.
And we just stopped there. We started talking like, all right, well, where's another spot we want to try? And these guys are open the back of like he had a truck with like a
Camper shell.
camper shell in the back. Opens it and looks at us. They were sleeping in their trucks, waiting to go duck hunt the lake on opening day. So then we moved down, I don't know, half a mile down the road, and there's
another in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but there's another 3 trucks at this other lake access point sleeping in their trucks again.
The public
like,
access
crap.
points were campgrounds.
I called Jack.
We
and I'm
we
like,
didn't plan on hunting together, but you called me and told me that every spot that you had been to had been over full because there was not room for the hunters that were at these points already.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on hunting with these guys. I had some other buddies I was hunting with, and in my plan of action that I had an A, B, and a C plan. And I quickly ran out of A, B, and a C plan just from what Riley had told me over the phone. I didn't even check. I knew it wasn't happening just from what he had seen. And I knew that he had an A, B, and C plan. So we ended up with like 7 guys just because we all ran out of spots.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. So we drove to the complete other side of the lake, and there's this walk-in spot. When I say it's a hike, it is a hike. It is a mile and a half.
They're called lake access points, but lake access point doesn't mean it's a lake access point to water. It's a lake access point to lake access around the lake. I mean, there could be 10 yards before you get to the water. There could be 10 miles. I mean, there's probably spots that are miles and miles to the water. I mean, there's a lot of deer hunting around the lake too. So,
I mean, we had A-frames on the shoulders. We had jet sleds.
Waders on.
We had waders on.
Oh,
We watched. We finally got to the end of the road, and of the walking trail or whatever, and we then walked through the woods to our spot, like thick timber, to the where we wanted to hunt, and somebody had the bright idea to walk all the way back to the trucks and go get Jack's boat. So we could walk all the way back to the truck, go get Jack's boat, because we still didn't have all of our stuff. Yeah. We couldn't carry it at all.
there was 7 guys carried it in all in the first place, and then
That's a lot of stuff.
I said, okay, well,
We had 2 boys.
we didn't even we had to go back to the truck anyway, so I said, I mean, we were literally so tired. What did Onyx say how far that walk was? Because we looked at it.
It was
after
about
that.
a mile, I think.
It was
more than a mile.
It was a mile and a
I want
half.
to say it was a mile and a half. But
We
it
were
wasn't
walking for-
It wasn't like we're on a blacktop trail. We were literally walking through the woods and through
And gravel
pasture.
and pasture. It was.
It was probably a 30-minute walk.
It was a long
With
time.
all of our stuff.
in headlamps at like 4 in the morning.
It was
4 in the morning when you guys went back on the way out.
Sweating because
Yeah, 'cause
it's
it's
opening
early
weekend
November,
and it's
yeah.
normally
But
like
that's how hard it
65
is to hunt
degrees here.
public ground around here. You will have guys. Now that they took the blind jaw away, you'll have guys sleep in their trucks at the hunting spots because they want to make sure they get a spot to hunt.
How
And
many-
they know the good spots on the lake.
Yeah.
They hunt it every time, and there's really only a few like good, real good fire spots on the lake. So
You can scratch them out anywhere, but if you want to get on the birds.
Yeah.
you know where to go, and those guys were there.
And the reason we didn't take my boat in the first place on this hunt is my boat had a blown engine. But I got an 80-pound trolling motor on the front of it. So I was like, all right, we still got to take probably a couple 100 pounds of gear because, I mean, it's not uncommon for us to throw out 5 dozen decoys on the lake, 5 dozen duck decoys, and a couple A-frames to hide us all. And then, guns, line bags, you name it, all the other stuff.
Chairs.
Yeah.
So I said, let's get my boat and let's trolling motor from the boat launch to where we're hunting on the bank.
Which is another.
It was a mile and a half. It was about as far as our walk, but nobody was, no physical exertion. We were stepping on the trolling motor
Just
pedal.
putted all the way across.
Other than
Getting stuck.
it was a long, slow ride across the lake.
Freezing. It was cold.
Yeah, the wind was blowing against us. The wind switched. The wind was blowing against us on the way there, and the wind switched and blew against us on the way back.
You and I went on
and
the way
I
back.
was so glad that my trolling motor battery did not die because we would have
On the way back.
been SOL, man. We would have been so stuck out there.
It was a long ride back, for sure.
I would still say it was better than carrying that stuff through the woods and through the pasture and.
It's the reason, I just love waterfowl hunting because you just have, dumb, not maybe dumb, but just funny memories.
Yeah,
we
I
make
think we-
together. Like we
Think about the
back and we're
stuff
like,
you really do to just go hunt.
Yeah.
why did we do that? Why did we walk a mile and a half?
Looking back,
We talk about that all the time.
Looking back, we should have all went home, went to bed, woke up at 8 o'clock, and went and ate breakfast with each other, and just mark that day off the calendar as we're not hunting today, because that was one of the worst choices we've ever made.
But it was fun,
so
and it was
fun.
funny.
And during the day, not funny. We were all kind of perturbed, irritated, frustrated. Tempers were getting short with each other because nobody wanted to carry one more decoy than the guy next to him. It was just terrible. Looking back now, absolutely hilarious. I mean, the day is just hilariously stupid funny.
Funny, we got a funny picture from it too.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
The one on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we
Hilarious.
shot multiple ducks that day, but weren't able to retrieve any of them.
Yeah, the water got so deep and it was so windy.
no.
We had
Oh, you shot Drake Wood.
I shot a Drake Woody, and that dove and was gone. I was on the boat.
Into the refuge.
I was on the boat.
Yeah, I flew into refuge
Yeah.
and we can't go on the refuge.
And then we shot another Drake Woody that I was on the boat on the trolling motor. It was belly up. And we were trolling the motor up. I was reaching down to go pick him up. Flips over, dives. Never saw him again. And I don't think we shot a couple Woodies. I think we shot another bird that
Had that goose maple leaf on us, but
we didn't get to
only.
retrieve any of the ducks.
One
yeah, with
flute.
no geese.
One flute in the blind. Riley's blowing that thing, and this goose is, I don't even know how high.
Well, you always gotta bring up my flute, man.
Because it's awesome, dude.
No.
You can't
No.
be hating though.
Yeah,
I
come
love
on.
the flute. I have one.
You're bringing it tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I am.
But no, I just
Fluke calls only tomorrow.
Flute's only tomorrow.
that's what I love about these guys. We just make really hilarious memories that we look back at. Like that was so dumb, but that was so hilarious.
We've got,
Many.
sadly and as funny as it is,
We've
we've
came a
got
long
more
way.
of those stories.
Oh, we have much. We got
could
hunts that are
spend a
just
few
about as
hours.
worse as that story right there.
Yeah, that
Multiple.
Definitely worse things have happened.
But can't complain.
That's one of your strengths. You just,
Exactly.
you just
we
do
we
some
have
crazy
rolled,
things.
we've rolled with a lot of punches for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, the sock.
Yeah. The sock.
No, the gloves. Yeah, okay.
The sock. What do you mean?
All right, so-
Oh boy.
Okay, so we go hunting at Kinzora's public
It's
marsh.
like the opening day of teal season or something.
Yeah. And we bring another buddy with us that, like, he rarely hunts with us. Like, he comes every now and then. So we go out early in the morning. We get set up. We're sat down.
Catching frogs.
We were just going to sit down there. We weren't going to go back to the trucks or anything. We're just going to sit down there, chill out. John's like, I got to go, man. It's hitting me. And I was like, all right. So we go back to the truck, and
Is it okay? Now, is it when you said you gotta go? Is it like that moment where it's like you gotta go?
Yo, yeah.
Now, or is it like
no,
I
like-
gotta go?
I was like, well, maybe I can hold it till we get back into town. The
Okay.
Edgerton
He
gas
was a-
station.
he was a-
Edgerton gas station's closed. It's like 3:34 in the morning.
then he became a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
So he was like, so all the gas stations are closed. He was like, okay, I'm just gonna go in the woods. He walks across the road
Take my waders off, obviously. 'cause
about 40 yards, and in his Hey Dudes. He goes down. He's probably gone for 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes.
Let me tell a story of the walk, right? So I start walking these woods, and there's like a pond up here, and then there's the road, and then there's Kinzora, which is the hunting area, and there's like water coming down, just down into like the ditch where the road I was walking. So it was super muddy, like quicksand mud. And I like took a step, and like half my shoe got buried, and I was like, ah. So I was thinking I was being smart, so I threw some rocks out to walk on across this quicksand, because it was like 6 feet of quicksand I was walking in. And so I threw some rocks out, and I started stepping on the rocks, and I'm about knee deep buried in mud. And I step out of the mud, and my shoes.
Like the type of mud that's like suction cup.
Yes, and my shoes are stuck about 4 feet into the mud. Not 4 feet, like 2 feet.
Your Hey
So
Dudes,
I'm
right?
like,
You're not boots, Hey Dudes.
yeah, and I'm not very tall, so it's like knee deep in my meat. And my shoes are buried into the mud. So, and I'm like, I have to go. I'm not turning around to get my shoes right now. So then my socks, my only pair of socks, it's like, it's what's it, September teal season?
Yeah.
So it's like 70-some degrees outside.
It's hot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm wearing Nike socks. And then my socks get absolutely caked in mud after that. And before this even happened, of course, we had no toilet paper. And this is beginning of senior year, COVID, Cannon had like 6 masks. So masks were the wipe of choice for that morning, and that was my story of walking how I got so caked in butts. You can.
So I'm just sitting in the truck waiting for him, and here comes John walking out of the woods. There's mud up to his thighs. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? He's like, dude, I got stuck. My dudes are gone. Everything. I was like, oh no. He's like, dude, we have to go get socks or something. I can't wear my waders barefoot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get blisters. This is gonna suck.
And so we drive to the gas station in Edgerton in that town. That's closed because we were going to try to find socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
So we drive another 10 minutes all to Trimble at Trucksmart there, and they didn't have socks.
You guys thought you were gonna find socks,
but they had something. They had like these $2 pair of thin wool gloves.
How about two?
This guy.
This is pre-army too, so.
This guy walks out of Trex with a pair of gloves, and he comes in my truck, like, grabs a knife or whatever, and starts cutting holes in them and makes socks out of them.
Like the thumb was for my big toe, and everything else kind of just wrapped around my heel and like the arch of my foot. And
You have a picture of it, don't you?
I got a video of it somewhere.
Funny.
Those were they didn't slide off your foot or anything.
And this entire time, Hunter's still sitting in the marsh seat in the middle of Kinthora, waiting for his Gatorade that I said I would get him.
How long had this process taken at this point?
An hour and a half.
We still were there.
So you guys left him
before shooting line. We got
So we're walking back in at shooting time. There's teal flying everywhere. There's hunters all over the place. We're walking on the levee past all these hunters.
I'm walking with
Calling
a
it birds, and we're just over here just walking to our spot. It's bright outside now.
for the guy that just about pooped his pants. He's wearing gloves on his feet.
Yeah. At first they saw me sprinting across the levee in my waders to the truck, and then they see me walking crooked because my feet are already blistering because the gloves weren't covering everything they should have been covering. And they're probably like, what in the hell is this guy doing?
You guys drove to Trimble and Edgerton.
Yes.
That have probably a combined population of 1,500 people, 2,000 people.
Maybe,
and you were
yeah.
trying to find socks at 3:30 in the morning. Actually a flawed
Open
plan.
until like 8.
This is a flawed plan here.
Oh, but anyway, yeah, that was just a story I had to share.
Another one of those in the moment, think it's a great idea, it's going to work great.
Now.
Terrible, ends up terrible. Looking back now, hilarious.
Why?
Hilarious.
The lesson learned in that scenario was bring an extra pair of socks, I think.
And some toilet paper. I've never gone hunting without toilet paper since that day.
We could probably go for hours, I think, for stories.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Hours.
Easy.
Everybody has their own story. They could tell about something they thought was funny.
That'd take all night.
Yeah.
What's your, one question that you would have for, I don't know, if you're trying, I don't know, what would, a question that you would ask someone that has been waterfowl hunting all their life? What's something that maybe you have a question about?
Oh, I got a lot. I got.
Maybe if it's career advice, maybe it's to become a better waterfowl hunter. What's one question that you would want to ask someone that might be listening?
As a waterfowl hunter question, I would ask simply because I don't have a lot of other people to ask. Like I said, nobody in my family hunts, so I'm learning it all as I go, and when you're doing it all yourself, you learn pretty quick. Mm-hmm. But there's so much more to know, and especially just comes with experience. Maybe not even what I could ask or what they could show, even me or other new hunters. That there's just simple things that do the birds really care about this? Should we spend this much time doing this? Just I don't know if there's one question exactly, but it's just sharing experience they have with the years of waterfowling from an experienced waterfowler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think we come up with new questions every day.
Every time we sit in the blind. Yeah. Do you really think the birds can see that decoy that's turned its head facing the wrong way?
Do you think we should have decoys over here? Do you think we should have the blinds over here? All this. Do you think this will affect birds?
simple questions that maybe if you've been hunting for 40 years, you could answer them right off the bat. But us that, been hunting for maximum 4 or 5 years, so they just don't know yet. And maybe those are questions nobody knows.
It's just stuff we figure out on our own.
And the greatest question I end up asking myself and all of us every time we hunt is, are we overthinking it every time? Because we kind of like to nitpick the spread, and everybody's got their own thoughts, but do they care that much, or did the birds really look that far into it, or how deeply do they look into the spread, the calling, the hide, all that stuff?
It's a good question. And I don't think anyone has the answer for a lot.
I think if they did, there'd be a lot more dead birds.
Yeah.
The limits may not be as high as they are.
I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe some like scouting tips. Maybe we really just go drive. I know that's what a lot of people do, but I think maybe like, I don't know, when's the best time, or when where to start. Do you start at where the birds are roosting and follow them for forever until they land, or then go knock on the person's door, or do you just sit like where you think there's a majority of birds? And I think there's a lot of ways to do it, but what's the most effective way of scouting without burning through 2 tanks of gas?
Tanks and tanks and tanks of gas.
Yeah. And then last question I always like to end with is, you guys are in a stage of your waterfowling career, you could say, compared to different stage than others, and others are a little further in their career than yourself. But what advice would you give to someone, maybe, or to anyone, that you've learned over the years of being a waterfowl hunter?
Find good partners.
Mm-hmm.
Find your group.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially,
100%.
like you said, newcomers, right?
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself.
Or anyone. I think.
If you're new into the game, you can't do it by yourself. Everybody says go buy you a dozen decoys and try to find a good spot. It just doesn't work like that. There's more work than one guy can do by themselves. You hunt 5 guys. Just for example, everybody's got a dozen decoys. Now you got 5 dozen. Now you also do have 5 guys you got to worry about hiding, but especially with just how expensive everything is, you can split the cost 5 ways. I'm not saying everybody has to share decoys. Buy your own decoys, but when you hunt together, you've got multiple people calling. You can critique other people. Just hunting with other guys is the way to go, but make sure you like them, because things can go south pretty quick.
That everybody's the most dedicated is the entire group too.
Sharing the stuff is the best thing.
Don't give up. Don't give up on it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have, when you start out, you're going to have very rough hunts. Like, you are not gonna have fun some hunts when you first get into it. You're gonna be all over the place, doing all this work, all this, all that, for no return, no reward. I've done it. We've all been there.
I don't think
Too many times.
And you're just like, why am I doing this? Why should I keep doing this? But it's worth it in the long run. Don't give up on it.
But what kept you in it? What kept you?
The hunts like we had the other day.
Yeah.
Just
The couple
getting-
times this season.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
Just
Having fun with all of us.
For me, it's more the people I hunt with.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
It's so much-
define fun for you guys when you're
just
on a hunt?
Hang out in the blind.
Yeah.
just talking.
Yes.
Just being in the blind, setting spreads together. Just
Waking up at 4 in the morning.
It's not very often we don't see birds. We normally see birds often. We don't always kill birds, but I enjoy watching birds.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't always work. Maybe they work halfway and don't commit. But watching birds work is awesome.
And then now to really wrap things up, what's next?
Hopefully, a big hunt tomorrow.
Well,
What's after that?
We've got 1 day left with you. We got big plans, big dreams for tomorrow. We're gonna try to put them through. Duck season closes tomorrow.
We all go back to school in a week.
We all go back to school in a week, so season for us is probably wrapped up after next week.
What do you guys do to kind of fight the duck depression and things during the off season?
Can you fight it? Because
Yeah.
I think about it all
Watch
year.
videos.
Watch videos.
Yeah.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or go spend a lot of money.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah,
have
that's
Rogers.
that's
You
when you
guys
start.
have
Yeah, we got Rogers 15
Well,
minutes
after-
away.
After the season, they'll just have a major sale. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Do they?
you can go up there and it's just crazy. I mean, everything's on sale after season. It's crazy.
Obviously, summertime. We all fish or
Yeah.
hang out, bonfires.
Go fishing trips
Turkey
together.
hunting.
Fishing
We
trip.
went Fishing trip. in the
Turkey hunting
summer.
is what gets me.
Yeah,
Turkey hunting.
helps a lot.
Shed hunting, early spring, coyote hunting. There's other things to do, but it's not duck hunting. It's not waterfowl hunting.
Well, you guys happy with that?
Yeah.
That's good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Very
that
fun.
was
good.
That was a good one. So, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Campus Waterfowl Podcast. Yeah, really appreciate you guys' support all season long. Stay tuned for these upcoming hunts and the cooking video as well, and then also the videos that are going to be coming out all throughout January, February, and then into even the off season. So, look forward to sharing what's coming up. But yeah, that's going to do it here on this episode. Thank you guys again, and catch you guys on the next one.